Watson with me and Gordon Thomas. Good evening.
Good evening, Tom.
It's great to be back in the studio. Of course, it's bank holiday last week, and I made the most of it. I flew off to a different country. What have you guys been up to? Much sport caught up with, Gordon?
The weekend, the Harrison Allen Bowl final, unfortunately, was rained off, but I did manage to get down the meadow on a bank holiday. No, it wasn't bank holiday. I'm losing that. It was on Saturday.
It was
Saturday evening when Haverfordwest took on Carnarvon Town. Finished 1-1, but we'll talk a little bit later about that.
Yeah, we'll move on to the football. And of course, the development squad of very momentous day today in that draw for UEFA League, which is very exciting for the UEFA League Youth League. Fraser, what about yourself? How's your sporting week or fortnight been?
Well, like Gord, plans were scuppered on Saturday and then I hung around Sunday. Luckily, I sat tight until 10:30 with interchangeable weather, but the bowl was obviously off. We'll clarify what's going on with that in a moment. And then today was a case of following and working on the day I hate more than any other in my job, and that's transfer deadline day. I actually 7 o'clock deadline expired. I thought, thank God I can dare to check the news again. They've got till 1 o'clock to put them in. So whoever's on the late shift tonight, unlucky.
Yeah. Oh, and there's already been a few mover shakers announced already. So we'll see who's done well in the business typically in the Premier League, and of course, if you're a Premier League fan, you're going to want to stay tuned and stay watching, because we've had this competition with Top Sports where we've been giving away a pair of tickets for Manchester United against Wolverhampton Wanderers, December the 30th, with accommodation included. Gordon's done everything he can to try and win these tickets. You're not allowed, Gordon.
That's very unfair, because I thought Mark White would have just given me a couple of tickets. I did try, but there we are. Good luck to everybody who's entered, and you're going to notify our listeners the winner shortly.
Very shortly. So we're just letting the computer do its thing and picking one of you at random to go to Old Trafford on December 30th. That's quite a nice little way to beckon in the new year.
At least it's not going to Grimsby.
You brought that up, not me. But before we look at football, because we're going to be looking as well at the fact that Harrison Allen Bowl hasn't taken place, it's definitely now going to overlap with the football if it goes ahead next week. Football is back. We'll touch on that a little bit later on, but we will start with Harrison Allen. It couldn't go ahead.
Yeah, obviously, Chairman, the Pembroke County Cricket Club, Dave Brandon, has clarified the situation from here. It will now take place next Sunday, 11:30 a.m., slightly earlier start because of the nights drawing in. My understanding is that if it isn't played to completion, they can go on the first innings score. So that maybe gives a little more scope now. There is rain about next weekend, so we sit tight and hope for that. But that is the situation now. It's never ideal, of course, because there will be boys doubling up playing football and rugby, or may now have a decision to make whether they double up and play the football or rugby on the Saturday and risk that. But it just couldn't be helped with the weather. It is ironic after 18 weeks of good weather that it's come to this. But it'll then, if it is the worst happens, rained off next Sunday, it'll then go to the 14th. And then, of course, is Ironman weekend. So I believe if it's not played then, the county will hold a meeting and make a decision about what to do. We hope it's simply played this Sunday.
Yeah, that would be the easiest thing, wouldn't it, Gordon?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as Fraser just touched on, it's been a glorious summer. It's been the one season where we spoke about last time, with 18 games in a league season, and none of them were called off due to the weather. And then, unfortunately, the weekend that the Harrison Allen Bowl final is scheduled to play, the weather decides to break. But there's nothing any of us can do about the weather. It was common sense that they didn't play it this weekend. Let's hope the weather doesn't look that great this weekend, but let's hope there's an opening where they can get it done. Fingers crossed.
And the good thing with that one innings rule means that if they do need to squeeze it in quickly, there is the scope to start it and see what happens.
Yes, of course. Yeah. And that is, and actually the forecast at the moment is showing rain later on. So if that holds, of course, 6 days to go is a long time with the weather forecast, but it could well come to that.
And remind us then, Fraser, who's waiting to get to the crease in that fixture?
Nail and Narberth both did actually get to the field on Sunday. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite heavy enough early. The rain, I think, Nail only been about 20 minutes when it was called off. The bus turned around to get the supporters. It got as far as the Carew Inn and had to turn around again. So yeah, Nail and Narberth went for the final.
Oh, well, at least Nail got the bus there this time. It's not like the rugby the week
correct.
before.
Yeah, correct. And you just hope both teams are still full strength and it's not affected now by rugby or football. no one had planned to go away and now misses out, because that's always unfortunate as well.
Yeah, it is a shame that the flagship couldn't go ahead. But as a neutral in the cricket, someone that didn't really follow it, it's been amazing being here on Mondays and having this unbroken cricket. It's been a real competitive season with new names at the top. It's just a word of like amazingness of how wonderful it's been to see the scores, to see the teams come out.
I don't think all the wives will agree with you, but yes, to be able to get out for 18 consecutive weeks has been amazing and unprecedented, pretty much, as Gordon said.
Yeah. And Fraser, I don't think you've had the opportunity live on the radio to tell us about the last day of the cows.
Yes, yeah, great escape from us in the first team in Division 2. It went to the wire against Pembroke, who annoyingly had nothing to play for, but still tried hard when we were hoping they were going to roll over. But no,
you even asked him nicely when he was on the show as well.
I absolutely did, but no. And then obviously the news came through that Carey seconds had lost, and our number 11, Rhys Meredith Barrett, who I don't think has scored a run for the first team in his life, slog swept a 4 to get us over the line, 9 wickets down with a few balls to go. So yes, the place erupted, that's for sure. The cows were quite excited. There's quite a lot of noise going on.
I love that. So we'll need to hang on a little bit longer for the flagship of the cricket season, Harrison Allen Bowl. Hopefully it'll be this Sunday, and there'll be even more celebrating going on. And for those celebrating the return of football, it's back already. We feel like we're already a few matches in with the midweeks and the weekend matches. Gordon, you've been
it's incredible, really. I went to watch at the first, I think it was the first Tuesday that league started. I went to watch Goodwick and Merlin's Bridge play, and that turned out to be a little bit more difficult than what Goodwick would have liked. Bridge leading 2-1 and getting an equaliser in the 96th minute. And for a team who hadn't lost last season, Fraser, it looked as though they were going to lose their opening fixture. No.
Still, I don't mean this offensive to me as Bridge. It's a disappointing result for them, mind having beaten Bridge so convincingly in that Eddie Merry tournament. And history shown, look, we hope it's not, and I mean that in a nice possible way. I hope there's a 3 or 4 battle for the title. I hope it's not just Hakin and Goodwick in the mix, but just for the sake of the league. But history has shown that those two, when they both had it, can't afford to drop too many points. And that's 2 gone for Goodwick already.
No.
Yeah. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago, actually, but after the first game of the season, we were like, are there going to be other contenders? Because Goodwick have gone through all the changes. As a result, Clarby have gone through changes, losing Matt Fox. Tenby were my surprise team for last season, of course, getting to... We're going all the way in West Wales. In this early part of the season, Gordon, who
well, Tenby are definitely one of the teams that can, they definitely can beat either Hakin or Goodwick on their day. It's just believing in themselves, and I'm sure it's got to happen at some point. They have got a very good side, a balance of some good youngsters with a mixture of experienced players in their squad. Sean Whitfield is actually signed from Carew as well, so that's an added bonus for him as well. So yeah, I can see Tenby doing very well, pushing Hakin and Goodwick, hopefully, and possibly one other. Merlin's Bridge have had a decent start. I'm not quite sure whether they are ready to push that far, but they're capable of beating one of those teams on a given day.
How much, in your experience, do we read into these first couple of weeks of midweek games? Obviously, there's quite a lot of teams throughout the league sitting on 6 points. Availability isn't always the same. It does tend to settle down on Saturday. Have you noticed teams at full strength, or has it been a bit?
I think, to be fair, most of the teams have been at full strength, Fraser, but in the past, I'm not saying it happened in this one, that teams can be a little bit weak due to other things they're doing, being on holiday or whatever. Because officially the season should start on the first Saturday of September.
I find it's more low down the leagues, you get lopsided results, obviously, and sometimes you do have to do it with availability. First team players can play in second teams lower down the league, so you tend to maybe get a better start or a stronger side than you normally have. It's perfectly within the rules, of course. You can play three first team players.
I think it is,
yes, 3 for the second.
And of course, midweek availability, sometimes people are available on certain nights, not others. So no, there's been some flying stuff. Narberth, I think, be a little disappointed when you've come up. You don't want to lose your first 2 games that they have done. Lost to Tenby, Hammond, then by Goodwick. Fishguard have got on the board. I did have to chuckle. I joked with Rhys Davis after that Carew win. They won the title on the Saturday. Then they had the bank holiday Sunday. I think they were back out. And of course, the Aled Davis we were talking on the Monday. And then at the field a football team on Tuesday. I wasn't surprised to see they got hammered that night.
Like Loreni when they got to the final.
I would have thought they would have stumbled into the warm-up, and I wouldn't have blamed it.
Yeah. Who's your team to look for? There's the obvious two, but Goodwick dropped 2 points. He says in inverted commas. Have you got any wild cards?
Not in terms of the title, but I think Fishguard will surprise a few. I think they really have stabilised since going down. Phil Jones, very good, experienced coach. They were very impressive last year. They're a good unit. They've still got experience there. Patrick Hughes and Anthony Cousins still going. And they've made a couple of good signings, and I think they will. I don't think they'll be in a relegation battle. I might be wrong, but I think they'll be happy to stay up. Obviously, first season back in, but I can see them surprising a few people.
Having surprisingly played against them last season, I can vouch for them being very organised, very strong, very organised, very disciplined, and could beat the offside trap every single time they tried, which is frustrating. I am going to give Broadhaven an honourable mention.
Yes.
Why not?
The wait is over.
It's been a while, 499 days.
You're not counting then, Tom.
I wasn't. But at the 28th time of asking, Broadhaven First finally picked up a win with a 1-0 victory over Kilgetty last night. Of course, they got relegated from Division 2 and Division 3. Yeah. The team can recoup. There's a really good spirit around the club. And they finally got 3 points for the first time in 499 days.
That's brilliant.
Which is impressive. And then, to make it even more impressive, apologies, Gordon, because it was against Prendergast Villa.
No apologies at all.
The Seconds then played Prendergast Villa and got 2-0. So it's the first time in a very long time that both teams won and kept clean sheets.
It might be the first time in the club's history. No, I'm joking.
You would be the knowledge. There's a good feeling around the camp at Peasy Park at the moment. Have you had? And Milford United, their social media game is very strong at the moment, having played a few gigs at their clubhouse. I know that they've always got good spirit over there.
Yeah, 6 points from 6 for them as well. Actually, good start into them, Division 2. I feel for Branson, I'll be honest. You had hoped, after last year, nobly, they kept going. Lee Galdo kept going. They were on a hide into nothing, a hopeless situation. Obviously, didn't register a win all year. And they've lost their first 2 in Division 2. I don't know the extent to which they've been able to regroup this summer, but I do hope they can stabilise, because I don't want to see any club have back-to-back seasons like another season.
You don't want to see any club struggling, as you just pointed out with Broadhaven. You waited long enough for that. It's great to see it turn around, actually, Tom.
Yeah, no, it's there's a really good spirit around the club at the moment, and I'll tip my hat to the Jones brothers and the committee that's taken that on as we go forward into the new season. It's an exciting time, and I'm even available for Wednesday. Just something out there.
I don't blame you, Tom. Yeah,
they're all available now.
So let's have a look then, Fraser, for rounding this up. You did say predictions for this Saturday's Division 1 games. Have you got the fixtures there?
Me and Gordon will upset people early and then get a load of messages.
Yeah, we'll have it
on Saturday night, but it's nothing we haven't had before. Gordon,
no,
is it? No. Carew, Merlin's Bridge, where are we going?
Well, there's only one place I'm going there, mate.
Yeah.
And it's not Carew, it's Merlin's Bridge.
You have to say that.
Of course I do.
Carew beaten 6-1 by Fishguard so far, 1-1 draw at Moncton. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go draw.
That's a cop-out, mate. That's a cop-out. Well, there you go.
Well, it's stuck with me now to say Carew.
There we go. Home advantage.
We are a well-balanced sports team this evening.
Interesting one here as well, actually. Carby Road, Tish.
Now, that is a difficult one.
Just for 1 point so far, but competitive performances. 3-2 to Moncton, who a good side, 2-2 Kilgetty.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. I don't know.
How have Clarby got on so far since losing?
4 points. Beating Fishguard 2-1 and then a 3-0 draw with Kilgetty.
Also, they're scoring as well.
I think Tish are perfectly capable of staying up again, and they've lost any personal from there last year. I'll go just with home advantage. I'll go.
All right, now I'll go the other way just to keep them happy. Tish to win by the odd goal.
By the odd goal, I'm going to go draw.
Fair enough. We've covered them all now.
3-3. I'm going to put a score on this.
Good game. This as well. Good at Tenby.
Oh,
Now that is a tough one. We've just spoken earlier about Tenby improving so much. Now this would make a statement if they won at Phoenix Park.
yeah.
I think Goodwick can ill afford at home. Ill afford. They won't want to slip up twice in 3 games. I think they'll win 2-1, but I think it'll be a tough one. That.
Yeah, it will be. I think Goodwick will edge it, but Tenby will give them more than a game.
Moncton Hakin. Hakin away. Started the season really well. Moncton a good side though. Ben Steele and co there. 3-2 Hakin, I think will go.
You go in that 3-2. Yeah, I think Hakin will edge it as well.
I think Hakin have got that stability from last season, haven't they, coming through?
But Moncton are capable of doing it on their day. We know that.
2 promoted sides, Narberth and Fishguard.
No, that is a tough one.
You just
Jesse Road.
The way they've started, I think Fishguard.
Yeah, you just picked up Fishguard.
Okay. I'll go with Narberth.
And another interesting one, this really. They've not started well. Pennar, no points. Only lost 4-3 to Bridgemind. Yeah. I think late on as well.
It was.
And had the 5-0 defeat to Hakin. So maybe they're slightly misleading. Hakin will be a few teams 5-0 this year, but Pennar against Kilgetty.
Wow.
Ooh.
Kilgetty, I believe, with 2 draws so far.
I'll go with Pennar just because of home advantage at Bush Camp.
I'll go Kilgetty.
I'll go 2-2. I think Kilgetty's
we're good at this.
Draw streak will continue.
I am going to go back. I'm going to say Tenby though in that fixture.
You are?
I am.
Are you?
I am. Yeah, I am.
Big call,
right.
mate.
I am. I'm putting it out there.
Big call.
Let the record show. I was impressed with them last season.
You do realise Goodwick didn't lose a game in the league last season.
They've had so many
That's
changes.
A big
They've
shout,
had lots of changes though.
That's a big shout.
It is a big shout, but I'm ready for it. With Nayland not being in the pecking order in the cricket, I'm feeling another upset in the football.
Okay.
That's my logic. So there you have it. What are your predictions? Let us know. We're live on the Facebook. You can get in touch on WhatsApp 01437 764455 on the PWR app. And yeah, it's gonna. I'm excited for this football season in all divisions. I'm really excited for what's to come. So yeah, let us know how your team's going to get on. And talking of winter sports, later on we're going to be looking at a bit of rugby. WRU in particular, they've put their proposal document out there. Are you for or against it? My friend David, he's up for it. He likes the proposal.
Okay.
What that means and how it subsumes into the existing framework is where I've got lots of question marks.
Question marks, yeah.
And then also we've had great Pembrokeshire representation in the Women's World Cup, but it hasn't necessarily lit the game on fire. And why is that? Has Lynn had enough time, do you think? Yeah. I was expecting more.
We'll talk him later, but yeah.
We'll talk him later. And also we'll look at the Pems KO Cup games, which feels super early to be talking about actual competitive rugby fixtures.
Yeah.
But here we are. But before then, we're going to be turning our attention to the takeover of Tenby, Ironman Wales.
Correct.
I think I can hear him in the background.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. And before that, Gordon, it's the tickets to give away to Manchester United.
I'm not giving any tickets away. You can ask a Man United fan to give competition tickets away, Tom.
What alias have you put yourself under for these? We'll be back very shortly with the winner of those tickets with Top Sports. So don't go anywhere. We've got that coming next for you here on Pure West Sport. It's 8:20.
Eaton-Evans and Morris Solicitors have traditional values.